Hello friends, welcome to the Python course. In the previous module, we have covered string and string methods. Today, we will cover the module 6. This module has been divided into two parts. In the first part, we will see the dictionary, and in the second, we will see the working of sets. In the dictionary part, we will see what is in a dictionary, how to create a dictionary, how to access a dictionary, and dictionary as keys, dictionary methods, and we will see how to modify the dictionary. So let's begin. I have already opened up my Anaconda Navigator. Now I will open Jupyter Notebook. Okay, I will go into the documents, GitHub projects, Python trainings, tunic, and we'll create a new Python 3 notebook, and we will name this as module 6 dictionaries. Okay, so what is a dictionary? Dictionaries are collections of items that have a key and a value, right? Unlike list, we have a index by a number from 0 to length, right? So dictionaries can be user defined keys, right? For example, in the list part, we cannot have user defined keys. We could have only numbers ranging from 0 to length of the list, in which we could have or represent as a key values or the index position, right? But in the case of dictionaries, we could have our own user defined keys. For example, in this screen you can see here the value of petrol is 1. So we wanted to say petrol is 1, diesel is 2, right? Similarly, we wanted to store a record of information as key value pairs. For example, our contact list, right? So this contact list could be stored in the form of a dictionary, in which we could have the keys as the name of the candidate, name of the student, or name of the employee, and corresponding its mobile number, right? So how to create a dictionary? So let us see. Dictionary is being created by a curly braces, and in the curly braces we have a key and separated by a colon, that is we are having a value. If we wanted to have multiple keys and multiple values, that could be separated by a comma, right? So in the example you can see there's a mydict is a dictionary, name of the dictionary, and it is represented as 1 as a key and 1 as an integer value. So this value or this key is a string and this is an integer, right? And if we output the mydict, we will get in the form of key value. It is saying that key value pairs. So let us try to create a dictionary and practice that. Suppose I create a dictionary. So this is your empty dictionary. And if I print this, so this is empty, right? So now I will try to, and if you wanted to check the type, so that can be checked by using the type keyword, and here it says it is a dictionary. The data type of this variable is of dict type, that is dictionary, right? Now I wanted to put some values inside this dictionary. So let us say I put a value RAM and its corresponding mobile number. Right? Then Sunil and its corresponding mobile number. Right? So here we have formed a dictionary of the name and the mobile number. So we have in the keys we have the names of some students, and in the values we have mobile numbers of the corresponding students, right? So this is how we have created a dictionary. So the next part comes how we could access the components of a dictionary. The components of a dictionary could be accessed in the similar fashion as we have already done the accessing of list, but here we were in the list part we were accessing the index position, but here we are accessing it by the key, right? So now for example I wanted to access the value which is present at 1, so integer value 1 is present at value 1. Similarly I wanted to check what value is present at 2, right? So integer value 2 is present at the 2. Similarly here in this case I wanted to check my dict, and here I wanted to check what is the mobile number of RAM. So here it says RAM is holding the integer value corresponding to a mobile number. Similarly I wanted to check what is the mobile number of Sunil. So this value Sunil is holding, right? So this is how we could access the elements inside the dictionary by using their keys. Okay. So now if some key is present inside the dictionary, right, and it is not present inside the dictionary and we are trying to access that key, so it will raise a exception, it will throw us a error, that is particular key is not present, key error. I wanted to access Ramesh and Ramesh is not present, so it is said key error. So this Ramesh is not present inside your dictionary, so it has returned us a error, right? Now we will understand what are the key types, right? So first thing you need to remember, so we could have only unique keys, right? So in this part, so Ram is holding a particular value, Sunil is also holding a unique mobile number, and Suresh is also holding a unique value, right? If in this part only I modified it and I put Ram again, for example Ram has two mobile numbers, so one we have shown you earlier and second it is there, right? Now what will happen? Now the question arises, does this dictionary will hold two key values, that is similar, it will have two RAM values, or it will only hold one value of RAM, and if it holds only one value, then which value it will hold? It will hold this value that is on the top, or it will hold the last value, right? This we need to understand, right? So suppose I created a dictionary of two duplicate values of RAM and their corresponding mobile numbers are different. So what will happen if I execute this command? RAM will be only get replaced with the last entry, right? So basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to replace RAM by another value here by putting in the dictionary. So originally what it does, when the dictionary is created, So in the background, so RAM gets a position pointing to this number, but when it reaches here, so this RAM is being modified to this new value. So earlier value which the RAM was holding is being replaced by this new value. So now we can come to a conclusion that dictionaries, the key elements in the dictionaries, can only hold unique key values. We cannot have duplicate keys in our dictionary. If we wanted to try to make the keys duplicate and try to create a dictionary, it will not be created, right? So this thing we need to remember, keys inside the dictionary are unique, right? Okay, so now we wanted to access, we wanted to know, we have understood that keys inside the dictionary should be unique, but what kind of dictionaries can it have, right? What kind of keys it can have? So keys can be of any immutable data types. Keys could be a string, could be a numbers, right? Could be a tuples, right? Right? So here we could have keys types as keys, we could have keys types as numbers, right? We could have tuples also, right? So all these things are immutable. So we have already learnt these data types in the previous lecture, and we have learned that tuples are immutable, strings are immutable, numbers are immutable, right? So now this thing you need to remember, that in the dictionaries keys could be of any immutable data type, and the immutable data types are strings, numbers and tuples, right? We cannot hold list as a key value, sorry, as keys, not values. We cannot hold list as keys, right? So this thing we need to understand and we need to remember. So this is the most commonly asked interview question, right? Why can't we have list as your keys, right? So in that case we can answer, so keys can be of any immutable data type, we cannot have mutable data types inside our keys, right? So let us see, let us try to analyze this and practice this, right? What will happen if we try to have keys as your list? So this is your mydict1, right? So first the string part, so string part we have already covered, like RAM equal to a particular mobile number, right? Then we could have a number also, right? For example, let's take its roll number, that is, right, and in this part we could say it's a roll number, right? We could have a tuple also. In the tuple we could have the address and country, right? For example, we could say Delhi, comma India, right? So here I have created a dictionary in which in the first part it is a string value, in the second part we are putting the key as a integer, and in the third part we are putting as a tuple. So now we try to run it, and it successfully got compiled, and now it has given us the result. Now if I wanted to access my dict1 RAM, so it will give me the mobile number, and if I wanted to access the roll number, it will give the roll number, and if I wanted to access the tuple, so remember, if you are trying to access the tuple, so you cannot access a single element, you need to access as a whole, right? So here if you need to access it, so it says key error Delhi, right? As we already discussed, keys are unique, so it is trying to find a unique value, but it is not getting that unique value, so it is giving us the key error. And this whole is treated as a key, so we cannot put a single element inside our tuple and then try to access it, right? So both the elements would be needed to access the value of this key, right? Okay, now in this part only, so I create another dictionary, that is my dict2, right? In this part, in the key part, I take a list. Suppose I take Ram and Sham, right? Then I put a roll number. So now it has given me the error, it is unhashable type list. So we cannot have our list inside our keys. So instead of writing like this, so we could have it in the form of a tuple and then we could access it. It says Ram and Sham are both having the same mobile number, right? Okay, so here in this case we have learnt about how we can represent keys as strings as keys, number as keys and tuples as keys, and we cannot have our list as your keys, right? Okay, so now there is another one thing we need to remember. So I said that we cannot have list inside your keys. Instead that you can have your tuples, right? Because tuple is immutable, that is correct, and we could have your tuples as your keys. But what if we have a tuple and inside the tuple we can put it in the form of a list, right? So is this operation valid? According to what I have said earlier, I said only 3 data types are allowed in your keys. Strings are allowed, numbers are allowed, and tuples is also allowed. So here, according to my statement, so this condition also would satisfy, as it says tuple is there, right? So we could have a tuple inside your key, so that is correct. So this also satisfied, right? If I try to run this, it will give me the error. It says inside your tuple there is a list that is mutable, that I cannot agree with this, and I cannot hold a list inside my key element, whether it is a tuple. In spite of it is a tuple, but I cannot hold a list inside your tuple also. So this is how we come to a conclusion that even if it is a tuple, but inside tuple you cannot have list also. That is, any kind of mutable data type is not allowed, right? So it says tuple can be used as keys if they contain only other immutable types. That is, tuples could have strings, numbers, or tuples of tuples. But if tuple contains any mutable type, it cannot be used as a key, right? In this example I have used a tuple, and inside a tuple there comes a list, so we cannot use that, so it is not recommended and it is not acceptable, right? Okay, so now there is another method called dictionary.keys or dict.keys, which gives an unordered list of keys in the dictionary, right? For example, we have a my dict1, right? So we have the keys as Ram, this number, roll number, and you are having a tuple, right? So I want to fetch all the key elements, right? So that can be done by using dict1.keys, right? So in the dict1.keys we have the Ram, all the keys which are present in the dictionary get converted into the form of a list, right? So this is how we can access all the keys inside your dictionary. The second method is your values. If you wanted to access and wanted to convert all your values in the form of a list, then you can use this function as mydict1.values. So this will also come as a form of a list, right? So this is how we could access your keys by using .keys method, values methods, and if you wanted to get your key and value both as a tuple inside your list, that you can get it by .items. So it is a list, and inside your list you have a tuple. So this is one tuple, this is second tuple, this is third tuple, and inside your tuple we have the key value, key value, key value, right? So there are three methods for accessing of the dictionary. In keys you could access it by .keys, values, .values, and both keys and values by using .items, right? So here in this example I have shown you, this is the contact. In first we have John, last due, age 39, sex male, salary 70,000 and registered equal to true, right? If I try to print contact.keys, if it gives you all the values which are unordered, so this is an unordered list, you will not get according to what you have input, right? So it will get you in your unordered, right? Similarly, values also will get you unordered list of values in the dictionary, right? Okay. Now we'll say we wanted to modify a dictionary. So let me ask you a question: is the dictionary mutable or immutable, right? So in the previous lecture I have told you about the mutable and the immutable types. So let us understand what is a mutable. So anything which can be changed or replaced or modified, that is a mutable. Tuples we cannot modify it, strings we cannot modify it, that is immutable, right? Dictionary we can modify it, we can change it, so that is why dictionaries are mutable, right? Okay, so now I wanted to modify a particular value corresponding to a key. Here in the salary I wanted to replace 70,000 by 90,000. Then by using the assignment operator I could fetch the element by using the key and then replace it by a new value, right? Now in the contact you can see the 70,000 is being replaced by 90,000, right? So here this is your mydict and I wanted to replace Ram by some other value. So let's say 1001,001, right? Now if I try to print mydict, so now we have Ram, Sunil and Suresh. So in this value Ram value was replaced by this value. Earlier mydict 1 was holding value as this one, Ram, Sunil and Suresh, right? Got it? Okay. Now we can also use the Dell keyword, right? So Dell keyword is used to delete a particular entry or particular key value, key as well as value. If I put a delete and then dictionary name and then specify its value, the dictionary key and the value will be gets deleted from this dictionary, right? So now in this case I wanted to delete Suresh. So what I will do is tell mydict and Suresh. So value will gets deleted, and if I try to print mydict, so only two elements are left, third one is gone, that Suresh gets deleted from this mydict dictionary. Got it? Okay. Now in this part we will see how to loop over a dictionary. This for loop we have already seen and the basic principle remains the same. We have a for loop in which we wanted to iterate through a iterable. So all these things are called as iterable, whether you take a tuple, whether you take a list, whether you take a dictionary. And by iterating through a iterable, you need some temporary variable. So this key is kind of a temporary variable, you can say that. So you can take any name or a value or a I or a j or a k, any type of variable in this key, right? So we wanted to loop over a dictionary, right? So we can do in different methods, right? For key in myDict, right? Print key, right? So all the keys get printed. By default, if you try to access the keys, so only the keys will get printed, not the values. But instead of this, if you specify, right, you specify values in myDict dot values print the values will get printed, right? So by default it will take all the keys, and in the values you need to specify you are iterating through myDict.values and values will get printed, right? So this is how your iteration will work. Okay, if you wanted to print the values in this format also, what you can do is you can say here myDict, and in the bracket you could specify your keys, so values get printed, right? Either if you wanted to print only the keys, then you specify k, or if you wanted to print the values, then myDict, and inside your bracket you need to specify your key. Okay, so this is how we loop over our dictionary, right? So in this part we have covered how to access a dictionary, what is a dictionary, how to access the key value pairs, right? And we have seen dot items, dot value and dot keys, right? And we have also seen how to modify a dictionary and loop over a dictionary, right? So thank you guys, thanks for watching.